at the Hiroshima Peace Park Museum, and there are so many things here, and I don't know, I put makeup on because I was going to film, and I don't know why I did, because I've only just walked in the door and I'm already tearing up, so it's going to be a mess thanks to mascara. I wanted to share my experience with the first set of numbers is how many days it's been since the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. The second set of numbers is how many days it has been since the last nuclear test. And what this clock is measuring, essentially, is they've constructed this clock so that the cogs will spin. The top cog spins at 100 rotations per minute. But it speeds up with every nuclear test that occurs. And as you can see, we are now currently having 2 cogs spinning, and the third cog has begun to spin. And what that means is when this clock starts to spin at the bottom here, this last cog is immovable, and when there have been so many nuclear testings for the bottom cog to start spinning, the clock stops spinning altogether and self-destructs, because that basically measures the amount of destructibility occurring on our planet. Basically, in order to stop the cogwheels from spinning, their intention is to abolish all nuclear weapons and seek for an age of coexistence among humankind without dependence on military force. And I have to say, I'm gravely concerned that the third cog has already begun to spin. This particular number is reset every time there is a new nuclear test, and you can see that it's only been 50 days. So that means that just 50 days ago, a country somewhere in the world did a nuclear test. Finally, it makes me sad to report that the last nuclear test was America. just finished my visit in the Peace Memorial Museum for the Hiroshima atomic bombing, and if I were to be totally honest, there aren't words for what I'm feeling right now. When someone takes it upon themselves to destroy another, that's a very deep and firmly rooted source of power and negativity. And what I'm realizing is that historically, World War I and World War II were predominantly driven by the United States and by the British government, because ironically they had the choice to bomb either Germany or Japan, and they chose to bomb Japan because if one does their historical readings and research, one will realize that America was very much active part of Germany's involvement in the world wars, and that's really sad because they used Japan as an experiment for the atomic bomb. They chose not to bomb air raid Hiroshima for the precise reason of measuring the magnitude of destruction of the atomic bomb. Now, what kind of neuroses is that? Seriously. What is war anyways, except a handful of people who have their egos bruised in one way or another by someone else's angle, and choose to use war as a tactic to create their own way. And at this point, what America and Britain and anyone else involved in participating in war, whether it's on the microcosm or on the macrocosm, whether it's war between friends or war between countries, is that it's very important to find a middle ground, because if you don't, the destruction of this entire planet is a very distinct possibility. Karma is karma, and one needs to take responsibility for the actions that have happened. America is so involved in freeing the world from terrorists, but the fact of the matter is, America has been a terrorist-oriented country from its very beginnings. The perpetrations upon the slaves, that's terrorism. The Civil War, that was terrorism. All of the wars that America has been a part of have been America forcing its way upon other countries based on a greed factor. And I'm sorry, but that is terrorism at its finest. And I have to say that I'm going to make the statement. I'm very sick and tired of the propaganda and the fear and the neurotic projections that America is putting out into the world and that Britain is putting out into the world for the mere purpose of capitalism. Yes, I said it out loud. And the fact of the matter is, when will the rest of the world stand up and say no? We have to find peaceful ways to redirect this energy. But it starts with taking a look at oneself, and I greatly encourage the countries of America and Britain to take a good, long, hard look at their historical pasts and be really, really honest with their intentions of each war that they have perpetrated in various countries. And so sorry, but what occurred in Japan is just as bad, if not even worse, than a lot of the other negative experiences that other wars have brought about. We can't point fingers. America cannot point fingers anymore, and it needs to stop. And it needs to stop now.